Good morning children. Today we will do a small revision with all the 4 chapters, that is numbers, measurements, bill, profit and loss and the geometry. Okay. See, we are having these 4 units for our forthcoming test. Okay. The test schedule will be shared with you in this week. Okay. For that, first I will take up with the numbers. So, in the numbers topic, what did we see? We saw what was whole numbers. Whole numbers started from 0, 1, 2, 3. Whereas natural numbers started only from 1, 2, 3. Then the concept of odd and even numbers. Odd numbers, that is, we are going to start from 1 and we are going to skip count by 2. From 1 you will be jumping to 2. So 2 steps. So that will be 3. Then another 2 steps, so 5. This we have already learnt in the number pattern or in your lower classes as skip counting. Okay. So 1, 3, 5, 7 etc. will become your odd numbers, and the numbers which are divisible by 2 will always be even numbers. Okay. And then we saw a few properties. If you read through that, that is enough. Now coming to the factors. What is the factors? The numbers or the multiples of a number will be the factors. Okay. Then we found out the factors. We should know to find out the factors. How are we going to find? We will be finding the factors in terms of prime numbers or composite numbers. So what is this prime number? Prime number will be a number which is having only 2 factors. Okay. One factor is number 1 and the second factor is the given number itself. So that is what is the prime number definition. The natural number which is greater than 1 and having only 2 factors which are 1 and the number itself is called the prime number. And the prime number and there is a composite number. The opposite of the prime number is the composite number. Any number which is a perfect number, that is when you add the 2 factors or the given factors, you will get the number itself. Okay. And then we were listing out the list of prime numbers between 1 to 100. You should memorize this. To answer all the possible 1 mark, you should know from 1 to 100 how many prime numbers. You have only 25 prime numbers. Okay, 25 prime numbers. So you just memorize them. Appada you can very well confident to attend the 1 mark. Okay. Then we were trying to do the divisibility rules. Okay. Before that we will be talking about the twin primes. Twin prime means that is the difference will be 2. The difference between them will be 2. Okay. So then they will be prime numbers like 17 and 19, 5 and 7. These are all examples for twin primes. Okay. And then there is one triplet. Okay. Which is the triplet 3, 5, 7. And the divisibility rules, dividing by 2. It should end with 0, 2, 4, 6, 7 and 0, 2, 4, 6 and 8. If the number is ending with these numbers, it is divisible by 2. And for divisibility by 3, what we are going to do is we are going to add the numbers. That is, add the number, sum of the digits, and if it is dividing by 3, then the number is dividing by 3. You should know this because these type of questions only I will be asking in the 5 mark. Divisibility for 5, it is dividing and ending with 5 or 0. If the number is ending with 5 or 0, it is dividing by 5. Divisibility by 4, that is the last 2 digits should be dividing by 4. Okay. Then for divisibility by 6, that is it should be dividing by both 2 and it should be dividing by both 3. Then only it will be divisible by 6. Then divisibility by 7. Okay, so you have to directly divide by 7 only and see, no other way. Divisibility by 6, that is the last 3 digits, you check whether it is dividing by 8, then it will be the whole number is divisible by 8. Then the divisibility by 9, if the sum of the digits is dividing by 9, then you will be getting this divisibility rule. Divisibility by 10, the last digit should be ending with 0. Divisibility by 11, the sum of the alternate digits, okay, should be dividing by 11. And the prime factorization, we are going to construct the division method or the factor tree method. We will be doing the division method is like this. This is called or type of a division which we are not doing it like this, like the vertical division. This is like we have to do like putting the division in the lower end. Okay, that is your quotient will be coming below. Okay, when you divide 36 by 2, the quotient is 18, and then again if you divide by 2, the quotient is 9. Then if you divide by 3, the quotient is 3, and if you divide by 3 again, the quotient is 1. So the quotients are coming below. This is one method. This is called the division method. Then there is the factor tree method, the same 36, how we are writing it. You can see here. So that is 36, I am dividing it by 2, so it is 2 into 18. Then dividing, you will be getting the factor tree method. Like this we have to write it. So that is what this whole exercise was dealing with. Then in the second exercise, we were talking about the common factors. When you call about the common factors, we will be having two things. One is the least common multiple and one is the highest common factor, that is HCF and LCM. Okay, so highest common factor of the two numbers is the largest number which is common to both of them. How will I find? I will directly find the factors of the given numbers and I will only take the common. Okay, what if I want the LCM? What if I want the LCM? The LCM will be, I have to multiply with all the numbers. 2 into 2 into 2 and 5 into 7. All things if I multiply, I will be getting the multiple. That's all. So, HCF will be always a smaller number. LCM will be always the higher number. Okay. Then, we will be coming across this relationship between LCM and HCF. That is, the product of the two given numbers will be equal to the product of their LCM into HCF. LCM into HCF is equal to X into Y. Okay, so this is what they have given here. LCM is always greater than the given numbers and LCM will always be the multiple of the HCF. Okay, so that is how we found out here. So then we were going to we finished these two exercises and then we went to the second unit. Second unit we discussed about the measurements. Okay, in measurements we were talking about the grams, meters and liters. Okay, so gram, meter and liter. Before that we are talking about the conversion. So in the conversion, this is the base unit and on the base you have the deca and hecta and then kilo, and in the below you will have deci, centi and milli. Okay, so only one rule, all are divided, I mean the difference is always 10. Okay, then what I am doing is from the top to bottom, if I'm moving from top to bottom, that is will be always easy. So I have to multiply. Multiplication is always easy. So I will be multiplying. Whereas when I am moving from bottom to top, it will be always very heavy task. So that is simple, I mean it is not simple. So like our division. Division is always bit heavy compared to multiplication. Likewise, you have to divide. Okay, this is for our measurements of length, mass and quantity. That is length, weight and the capacity. Okay. So this formulas you should be very, very thorough. 1 kilometer equal to 1000 meter, 1 meter equal to 100 centimeter, 1 meter equal to 1000 millimeter, 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeter. This much you should know. 1 kilogram is equal to 1000 grams, 1 gram equal to 1000 milligram. Then 1 kiloliter equal to 1000 liter. And 1 liter is equal to 1000 ml. You should know to convert with whatever form they are asking. Either you should multiply or you should divide. That is how we are going. So this is an example of how we are multiplying by the number of 10, 100, 1000, and this is for division. Okay, since in the 7th standard only your decimal portion is coming, they are giving how to do it for this sake only. Okay ma? Nothing. See, if 345.972 into 10, that is into 10, that is a multiplying. So the decimal point will move to the right. Okay. Whereas if I am dividing, what will happen? The decimal point will move to the left. That's all. When you are multiplying, decimal point will move to the right. When you are dividing, the decimal points will move to the left. This is the concept you should know for multiplication and division in the decimals. Okay. Then with that we saw all the fundamental operations. We saw the addition. Then we saw the subtraction. Then we came to the time. In the time we were discussing what is the month, what is the 24 minutes is equal to 1 nalige and all we saw. And we saw two types of clocks. One is the 12-hour clock and another one is the 24-hour clock. Before that, we were writing the time in two methods. That is, either you should write it as past. It is 5 minutes past 4 o'clock, 10 minutes past 4 o'clock, likewise. Or you should write it as 2. Okay, that is 25 minutes to 5. That is 4:35 is called as 25 minutes to 5. So these two methods are the two ways in which you can write the given time. And then we saw the conversions of time accordingly for hours, minutes and all. That is 60 minutes will make 1 hour and 24 hours will make 1 day. 7 days will make a week. Okay. Then ordinary time format or the 12-hour format and the railway time or the 24-hour format. You should know this. You should know the conversion between the 12-hour format and the 24-hour format. Okay. Then we came to the year. In the year, it has 365 days and it will be having 12 months. Out of that, only February will be having 28 or 29. Otherwise, other months will have either 30 or 31. And when it is a leap year, the number of days will be 366. So that extra day is added to the month of February. So that is why it is called as leap year. And once in 4 years, you will be having the leap year. Okay. So how is that? We are finding we can divide that year by 4 and see. Then we can say it is divisible by 4. See, the leap is there. See, this rabbit is jumping every 4 years for the leap year. Okay. Then coming to the 1 mark. 10 years equal to 1 decade. 100 years will be equal to 1 century. 1000 years equal to 1 millennium. And the 21st century is between 2001 to 2100. And the third millennium will be 2000 to 3000 years. Okay, this is the century, whereas we are in the third millennium. Okay, 1000 years are already, 2000 years have been gone. We are now in the third millennium. Okay, then go through all the 1 marks and all. Then we come to the third unit called profit and loss. Before that, we were writing the bill. You will see how to write the bill. Bill, it will write the cash bill or the cash memo, name of the shop, bill number, date, serial number, items, quantity, rate and amount. You should remember all this title. Then only you can fill in the things. And then finally you should add the total amount. Then only you will generate the bill. Then we came across profit and loss. What is profit? When the selling price is more than the cost price, it is called profit. When the selling price is less than the cost price, it is called loss. So cost price is the purchase price or the buying price, and the marked price is what the person is marking on the goods. Discount is what I am going to reduce. Okay, so and then you will be having the MRP, which is the maximum retail price, and the selling price. These are the very important formulas which you should learn. That is, if the CP is less than SP, it is called profit. So it is SP minus CP. And if CP is greater than SP, it is called loss. That is CP minus SP. If both are equal, then it is neither loss nor profit. What is discount? Discount is marked price minus selling price. So that will be the discount. If there is no discount, then it is marked price is equal to selling price. Okay. Now coming to so in the third chapter we are seeing only those things: discount, marked price, selling price, loss, profit. That's all. Only 3 things you will be taking into account. You should be very careful. Then we came across this unit called geometry. In geometry, what did we see? We first saw what is a triangle, a closed figure with 3 lines. A figure should be closed and it should have 3 lines. Then only it is called a triangle. Okay. Now, what are the properties of the triangle? A triangle will have 3 sides. It will have 3 angles and 3 vertices. So that is what A, B, C are the vertices. Triangle will have 3 sides, 3 angles and 3 vertices. Is it not? 3 sides. What is the 3 sides? AB, BC and CA or AC. So these are the 3 sides. and 3 vertices A, B, C, and the 3 angles, angle A, angle B, and angle C. Okay, when the lines are on the same straight line, we cannot draw a triangle. Now coming to the properties of the triangle, you should know. Okay, the angles are different, then the sides are also different. That is, if the angles are all different, the sides are also different. If the 2 angles are equal, 2 sides are equal. If all the 3 angles are equal, then all the 3 sides are equal. Okay, and all the angles will be equal to 60 degree. So why? Because the sum of the 3 angles in a triangle is equal to 180 degree. This is a very important property. Okay, then we saw what are the types. One is the scalene, one is the isosceles, and the other one is the equilateral. Scalene means what? All the 3 sides are different. Isosceles, 2 sides are equal. And in equilateral, all the 3 sides are equal. Then only that will be a type of a triangle. Then the angles, they based on the angles. Acute angle, right angle, and obtuse angle. Acute angle, if the angle is less than 90, it is called acute. If the angle is exactly 90, it is called right angle. If the angle is more than 90, it will become obtuse. Okay, based on that, you should name the triangle. Then we have this inequality property, that is the sum of the 2 sides. The sum of the any 2 sides will be greater than the third side. So this is called the triangle inequal property. Okay, then we came across this exercise 4.1. We will be going through all this. That is, in the fill in the blanks, we came across the properties, in the matches, the types of the triangles were covered. Then we were talking about how we were finding the third angle also. In this case, we were trying to find out the third angle. Okay, then how we were finding out whether we can form a triangle with the given sides and what are the types of the triangle and all we saw. And in the next topic, we saw the construction of the perpendicular lines. How did we construct the perpendicular lines? We constructed with the help of the set square. So what is a set square? It is a 2 triangle shaped instruments in the geometry box. First thing. And each of them will have a right angle, and the angles will be measured as 30, 60, 90 for one, or the other one will be having 45 degree, 45 degree and 90 degree. One set square will be of this values and the other one will be having the other values. Okay, so that is, I will show you right. This is the first set square. Okay, what is the angle here? One angle is 90 degree. So what is the angle? 90 degree means it should be a perfect L. So this L is the 90. If this is 90, this angle will be 60. This angle is 60. Okay, and that means 90 plus 60 will be 150. So total sum is 180. So 180 minus 150, I will be getting 30 degree. So 90, 60, 30. This is the first set square. The next set square is same L, that is my 90 degree is here. This 90 degree. And this is 45 and this is 45. Okay, so these 2 angles are 45. You can say these are isosceles triangle. This is isosceles triangle. This is a scalene triangle. Okay. Now we are going to draw the perpendicular line. Okay, 2 ways you can draw the perpendicular line. Perpendicular line means I am going to draw a line which is at 90 degree to the given line. Okay, so that I will be having 2 ways. One is, if I keep the point on the line itself, I will be drawing it like this. If I keep the point away from the line, this point is away from the line PQ. So I will be drawing with a set square. Okay, if you go through this, we will see. See, first is I draw the line AB. Then I place a point P on the line. Any point, anywhere on the line it should be there. Now through P, I should draw a perpendicular. Say they are using this isosceles triangle set square. So that is how they are keeping. So on P, see, on P they are keeping the set square and they are making it sure that this flat line is on line with AP. Okay, so this is how they are drawing the perpendicular. They will draw the perpendicular like this. Okay, this is on the line. Now, in this case, my X is above the line PQ. My point X is above the line. So what will they do? They will bring the, they will first place the set square on the line. Okay, then they slowly they'll move. They'll slowly move and they will stop at the point X and they will draw this line. That's all. Okay, now you should learn with the steps of construction. Okay, in the exercise you will be writing the one is, two things are for perpendicular and one is for parallel. So for that you should learn to write the steps. Okay, how we are drawing, you should write the steps. Okay, then for parallel lines, how we are going to draw. Okay, that is we are going to draw the line, that is we will be drawing one line, and on that line we have to place the set squares such that you will be able to draw parallel lines. Okay, I will draw it and show you. Wait. Say, this is one. Say, this is one line. Say, P, Q. Okay, this is one line. Now I want to draw a line parallel. You can take one point such that you keep it like this. Now I am going to take this set square, keeping it like this. Okay, I will keep it like this. Now I should use another scale. I should use a scale. Okay, then only I can draw the parallel line. See, I will place the scale like this. See, and I will not move my hand. The left hand move panna maten. The right hand mattum dhaan na move pandren. Evlo தூரத்துக்கு நான் எங்க வேணா நான் parallel lines வரைஞ்சிக்கலாம். ஓகேவா? இப்போ நான் எவ்வளோ தூரத்தை இங்கே வச்சுட்டு இந்த ஃபிங்கரில் ஹோல்ட் பண்ணிக்கலாம், இல்லைன்னா அப்படியே விட்டுட்டு இந்த லைன் போட்டுட்டு இப்போ இந்த லைன் வந்து அதை எக்ஸ்டெண்ட் பண்ணிக்கலாம். நம்ம எவ்வளோ வேணால் லெஃப்ட் அண்ட் ரைட் யூ கேன் எக்ஸ்டெண்ட். If you extend, this will become your line which is parallel to PQ. This line PQ will be parallel to AB. Okay, how did I draw? I just took this point and I took this set square. இந்த scale அந்த point கிட்ட ஒட்டி வச்சிட்டேன். இதுக்கப்புறம் நம்ம எப்படி வேணால் நம்ம எந்த சைடு வேணால் வரைஞ்சிக்கலாம். இப்போ நான் கீழே வரையணும் அப்படின்னா இப்படி வச்சுட்டு நான் என்ன பண்ணிக்கலாம், இப்படி பிடிச்சி இப்படி வரைஞ்சிட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் நான் என்ன பண்ணிக்கலாம், I can draw this extension X, Y. When you are drawing, ensure that you are having a very sharp pencil and a clean eraser to erase it up properly if you are making mistake. Okay, so I have given a small revision for all the 4 chapters which we have covered. Okay, when I want to give you worksheets, I will give you what all the sums you should practice and see in your worksheet. Okay, so children, you can now start learning for your upcoming exam thoroughly. In case of any doubts, silly doubts, you can just message me in the group so that everybody will understand what is the doubt. Everybody can be useful if I clear that doubt. Illa ma'am, enakku thaniya dhaan kekkanum appadina, you can very well call me on this number and ask me whichever doubt you have. Okay children, thank you.